Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Chris and I are back as we guard our lucky charms with Leprechaun 2, directed by Rodman Flender. On his 2000th birthday, an evil leprechaun selects the descendants of one of his slaves to have his bride, leaving up to the girl's boyfriend to save her. This movie was made on a budget of 1.5 million and brought in 2.3 million at the box office.
Boy, that is underwhelming on both ends.
Yeah, but still a success. Still made its money.
They still made more after it. Yeah.
And people still talking about the movie today. So,
yeah, I had fun with it. So a couple of quick facts. I always like to add some fun facts. So they did ask Jennifer Aniston, who I really enjoyed in the first one, to come back, and they offered her a whopping $25,000 to be in the sequel. So I'm guessing the story would have been completely different. Obviously, if she was in it, they would have had to have touched upon the first movie, whereas this one ignored it. But $25,000.
You'll find out a lot with this franchise, by the way. Yeah, we don't bother with continuity. Each one is its own movie. Yeah, don't worry about stuff like that.
Yeah, gotcha. But at this point, she already had a job on Friends, which was a hit TV show, even though it hadn't blown up quite as big as it got. $25,000 was not going to cut it, so that's why she didn't come back. And then one of the other people they tried to get for the role of Bridget was Denise Richards, but she was basically it came down to her and Siobhan Durkin, and they picked Siobhan Durkin. So yeah,
did a decent job.
Yeah, I don't think she could have done much more with it. A little over the top at times, but easy on the eyes.
Always good. I don't think this isn't the franchise for A-listers.
No, well, I mean, Jennifer Aniston turned out to be one.
Yeah, but she wasn't when she did it. So
I
don't think it's not that sort of movie. They're B movies at the end of the day. That's what they are.
Yeah.
And they're unashamedly B movies.
Yeah.
And do you see what I mean about the self-awareness? The first movie didn't quite know what it was. And this one, they're like, nah, I think we've got it. I think I know where we're going. And sure enough,
we got to lean into the humor part. Yeah. One more fun fact. The alternate title, the movie was originally going to be called One Wedding and Lots of Funerals. Leprechaun 2, One Wedding and Lots of Funerals. I'm glad they kind of left that out.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mouthful.
It's a little cumbersome.
Nah, just Leprechaun 2. Just let's not why overcomplicate something, especially these sort of movies. You know what you're getting.
Yeah.
We're not looking for auteurs or high class cinema. It's just dumb fun.
Yeah, for sure.
But as long as it tells a story and you appreciate the characters and have a giggle, I think it's important to do these type of movies because it would be easy, especially this channel where particularly me, I rip so many movies apart. But I'm not looking for high art. I'm not looking for like Shakespearean performances every movie. That's ridiculous. In fact, I'm not even expecting that from the horror genre. All I'm wanting are good characters, a follow-along story, and whatever the mood of the movie is, be clear on what the mood of the movie is. Take me on a journey.
Right. Definitely. And you've always said there's so many different, subgenres of horror. So there are ones that you want to be more suspenseful and you want to think about more. And then there are ones like this, you just want to laugh. And I think it accomplished that. I think some of the humor didn't land for me, which, we'll get into as we get into more, granular on the review. But, there were a couple of times I smiled and laughed a little bit. So, I'm enjoying it. It's definitely had the right idea. Like you said, it had the right theme. They're trying to lean into the humor of it. And Warwick Davis is great as that because he's supposed to be this intimidating creature, but you can't help but laugh at his mannerisms, the things he says, the situations.
And the
So
rhymes as well, the fact that he talks
yeah,
rhymes,
yeah. So it's successful in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. Sometimes that's all you need. It's pizza and beer night basically in the movie. That's what it is. It's not trying to be anything. What irritates me when movies say they're comedy and they try to be these high art thought pieces. You don't understand the comedy, peasant, and you're like, okay, no, fine,
Yeah.
bye. Or they try to take themselves seriously and ends up devolving into farce.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
uh, I think that's why these movies, like people probably go, why do you enjoy these? And it's like, because they just do what they say in the tin at the end of the day. And if you want to just switch your brain off for a while and just have a bit of fun and step out of the world.
Yeah. Just think about how many people it takes to make a movie, and like their sole focus was on just trying to entertain you and make you laugh. And you
What
compare that to some of the modern movies where there's like messaging and
preaching
boxes
from a
that,
pulpit.
yeah, and
Yep.
there's boxes that have to be checked, or just you don't get that same sense of just fun.
Yeah, there's
So this felt
nothing about the
Mhm.
movie. That's the thing. You get taken out of the movie before you even start with a lot of them today.
Yeah, yeah. And like you said about the first Leprechaun, this felt like an 80s movie, just like the first one did. And a lot of 80s horror movies seem to have had that same, fun element to it.
Yeah, there was an ethos, there was a thought behind it. I think there's a reason why they have lasted the test of time. They're rewatchable. Where there's movies today you can't even finish watching them.
Yeah.
Like what was the last one? That bloody Salem's Lot remake. I couldn't even finish it. I'm like, well, I've signed myself up to do the review, but I can't watch the rest of this movie. It's just grating on me. And there's movies like that you even forget. You'll watch it and you forget before you leave the cinema doors, and you're never going to rewatch.
Right, right, right.
What a good example that we had, like Alien Romulus. We talked about that for 4 hours. Everyone was involved in that stream. I don't think anybody's rewatching that movie. No, even the ones that defend it and everything else.
Yeah.
That's not going to, what I mean? If that's on the shelf and you've got all the other Alien movies, even Alien 3, you're picking one of them up first.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Hellraiser remake, that's another one that's just disappeared like a fart in the wind. Yet people tried to stir up a lot of controversy, fake controversy over it.
Right.
Not understanding Clive Barker fans. And you're like, that movie's forgotten. Nobody's sticking that in their calling it up and streaming again, or they're not buying the physical media. That's the thing. These are sold still. Leprechaun movies are still sold by the box sets.
Yeah, that's a good
They're hot
point.
tickets.
And in general, are you more likely to rewatch something like this that will make you laugh and has entertainment value compared to some of the examples you gave? So yeah, definitely. I think there's
100% every time.
there's more replay value with these.
Like
Yeah.
when I'm doing these sort of movies, it doesn't feel like a job. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, there's some movies I'm having to review, and it really feels like you're working.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there's no enjoyment whatsoever. You're taking notes, you're criticizing, you're looking, but you're not actually enjoying the experience of watching the movie. This, I was able to enjoy it and then take my notes, etc., be ready, but
Yeah.
have fun. Even if it wasn't streaming, I'd stick it in, watch it, and you know, and the franchise gets more daft as it goes along.
Just,
And that's that's all part of it.
yeah, for sure. For
But yeah, we'll
sure.
start off in ancient Ireland. Apparently 1,000 years ago, which even though there's alloys and metals and locks and washing lines, like nylon washing lines, like that was hilarious.
Yeah, I almost felt like Steve watching in the background to see if a car light went by or something.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but
Oh, there actually was. There's a boom mic. When he gets I don't know if you saw it, but when he gets like lifted up in the air, you could actually see not the boom mic. I'm sorry, but you actually see the crane that's
no,
lifting him just for a second at the top of the screen. If you get a chance to look back, it's right in the
brilliant,
beginning. where he
Brilliant.
gets lifted up. You'll see the crane at the top of the screen.
The
I should have
harness.
taken, yeah, the harness. I should have taken a screenshot for Steve. But yeah. But you know what? This movie came out so quickly after the first one. It was less than a 6-month total production time from start to finish. And the first movie came out in 93. This came out in 94, I believe.
Mhm.
And you could tell they just wanted to, capitalize on it. And it was the only one that was released on St. Patty's Day. So they probably figured like, we got to get this out.
Got to get this. Yeah, got to get into all that hype, etc. And
yeah. So I think that you can see some of that rushed production value, but it still works.
However, what, 1.3 million, 1.5 million, $1.5 million done in 6 months.
Yeah.
How many movies now are 400 million plus, an extra year's worth of reshoots?
Yep.
And they're complete and utter dog shit.
Yeah.
So what's the better approach?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes it's like,
it's funny, like 6 months, it sounds like it's so rushed, but then I think of I'm blanking on the name. Who's
Calvin?
Calvin.
Yeah.
Who's given like 2 weeks.
11 days. There you go.
11
Not
days.
even 2 weeks, 11 days.
So,
couple of grand. Get that done.
So it's funny saying 6 months is rushed.
Yep.
Poor Calvin.
He'd be like, 6 months, what'll I do himself for the other 5.5?
Yeah.
He'll have 3 movies out playing, you know what I mean?
I was going to say, he could make an entire franchise of movies. 8 movies. Yeah.
Yeah, funny. But yeah, we'll go back to Ancient of Ancient Ireland and yeah, all that. I'm gonna have O'Day, who's one of the Leprechaun's slaves. So it's another sort of twist and lore. I can't remember what it's mixing up with. Not mixing up with the Leprechaun, they're mixing up with something else that you get entrapped. But here, it works, but the bit that gets me is, how long has he been the Leprechaun's slave for?
Yeah, you get the impression a while, right? Because he didn't recognize
he didn't recognize his own daughter. In fact, for a minute, he's going, "Oh, she's pretty."
Yeah.
And then you have to go, right, if he left her when she was in the crib, yeah, that would make sense. But then how did you know straight away once the curtain, or it was like a curtain reveal though with the washing line, but how did he know it was his daughter? If it's recent, he would know the land, where he lived.
Right. It had to be something in between, right? Like maybe she was 8 or 10 years old or something when he left, something like.
But we don't bother with that, that kind of gets thrown out the window. The whole point of this is just to get the plot going, and
But I wanted to get your opinion on it. Like I went back and forth on this guy because, like, at the end of the day, he did the right thing. He protected his daughter. He refused to give in to the to the leprechaun, and at his own, he knew it was going to mean his own life.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, God bless you, and it basically protected her. So at the end of the day, he protected his daughter and eventually all of their children for thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, he did steal from the leprechaun initially. So he stole from someone else, even if he didn't know it was a leprechaun. He stole money, which is wrong, and he was willing to go along with the plan of damning some other girl to be
if it wasn't his
wife,
daughter. If
it wasn't his daughter. So I'm kind of on the fence with this guy. What do you think?
He's a bit of an idiot. He's not he's your typical slasher victim. You're not meant to have sympathy.
Yeah.
He's just a plot device. He's not really a character.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point is for us to meet Bridget.
Right.
And that's kind of the idea and set up the scene. I don't think it was really thought about that much. It was just a plot device to get people in. I don't think we're meant to super, think about it too hard. I think you're just meant to go, more popcorn, arf, and
yeah. Well, I might have a tendency to overthink some things.
No, surely not.
But I do get a kick out of the trope where the daughter, or in this case, 1,000 generations of daughters, looks exactly the same. You see this in movies sometimes where they use the same actor, like Back to the Future. With Back to the Future, when he goes back like 100 years, like his grandfather looks exactly like Marty McFly. You're not marrying the same person throughout time.
No,
you're not going to look exactly the same. You could use a different actress, but
yeah. But then again, that would cost more money.
Yeah.
Why bring a second actress in for one role? For like a bit part, we may as well just use the same one. So once again, it's like you said, 1.5 million rushed, to get it done for Paddy's Day release. Yeah, these are the things I'm like, you just let slide, because once again, you've got a sense of what the movie is.
Yeah, sure.
Now, if this was trying to be super serious and dark and gritty and stuff, you'd be questioning everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing as well, because every movie is almost, 99% of movies coming out in the last 10 to 15 years are all some sort of navel-gazing intellectual exercise devoid of fun.
True.
You forget what fun is.
Yeah, it's true. That's why these are so refreshing, and it felt like an 80s movie. It was also kind of fortuitous that there was a daughter in every generation, right? Like if they showed you the map, which
chance.
Yeah, but that they all survived to have children, like it worked out pretty good for the
also it wouldn't just be one child. I mean, families back in even up to the end of the 20th century were having like 6 to 10 kids.
Yeah.
Especially if it's your average Catholic family, God, you're talking about a 2-bedroom terraced house with like 7 kids in it.
Yeah.
Like we'd have it as even growing up on our side of the fence, flipping you'd have those families, 7 or 8 kids squeeze into a 3-bedroom house, like are literally in bunk beds and stuff, and that's the way people lived.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
So there would be plenty of opportunity. I think it's been over, it's been simplified. That's the whole point. It's telling you a picture of, here we go.
Yeah. I kind of like that effect when they showed the old map of the world, and then they showed the different fair maidens. I think that was actually fun.
However, one glaring problem. They're trying to say that the O'Days families covered the Titanic.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I suppose a few survived, but
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
The luck of the Irish, they survived the Titanic.
She was on the she was on holding Rose's abjects heads down.
That's right.
That would have been a cracking scene, actually. If this had been like later, I can't remember when Titanic came out, but
I want to say like
if you had the actors holding down the equivalent of both Jack and Rose's heads as she opened the door to escape, that would have been hilarious.
Oh my gosh. It didn't come out much before. Like I said, it feels like 1997. So it's only 3 years away. It feels like it's an 80s movie, but it's only 3 years away from Titanic.
It's got that whole vibe about it.
Yeah.
But sure.
That would have been funny.
Another thing is as well, like I said, it was a well-known fact that this didn't bother with continuity with the Leprechaun franchise. Every movie's its own story. It may not even be the same Leprechaun.
Well, I didn't want to bring this up so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she said. But I feel like that got me thinking immediately as I started watching the movie. And I feel like we can't go any further, Friendokin, until we get to the bottom of this.
Not even 20 minutes into the stream, and no. You've been thinking already?
We have to settle this before we can move on with this review. Is this the same Leprechaun? Let's go to the crazy cave.
It's a theory. It's Chris.
Chris's crazy theory.
Are we struggling there? Do we need to? You're going to get hit by the Ray-Bans. The radio waves are going to get you. You need to be faster.
I gotta get those sunglasses. That's the problem.
Get buttons as well. Come on, man.
I had plenty of time, and yet I still messed it up. But listen, the important thing is we do need to figure out, is this the same Leprechaun? Because this bothered me the whole movie. And I did some research, and I'd like to present to you my theory that although it's Leprechaun 2, and it's played by Warwick Davis, and it's the same voice, that this is not. And I have some evidence that I'd like to present to you.
I think we'll need some evidence for making such an erroneous claim.
Yeah. Oh, gentlemen of the jury, I present to you Exhibit A. So at the start of at the end of the last movie, they blew up the Leprechaun, of course.
With one can of petrol.
Yeah, and one tiny match.
Yeah. But anyway, you're worried about logic in this franchise.
So the Leprechaun says, and if you could zoom in, it says, "Curse this well, that me soul shall dwell." Always great with the limericks, "till I find me magic that breaks me spell." So he's trapped in this well. If this is the same Leprechaun, he's trapped. And at the start of this movie, he just walks out of the tree and there's no problem. There's no mention in it at all. So this right away got me thinking, like, maybe this is not the same Leprechaun. But, well, we need a lot more proof than that if I'm going to win my case.
Like, are you just saying they all look the same, you bigot?
They look and sound the same. Yeah, you know what? This does not paint me very well, does this? But I have more evidence that maybe will make me less canceled. So let's compare, shall we? So in Leprechaun 1, he's got, red pants. He's got white and green leggings, green shirt.
Well, the bands are closer together.
What's that?
The bands are further apart in the first one.
Yes, they are. That they are. Also,
wait, hang on. Yeah, maybe even leprechauns have a change of clothes.
So that's possible. That's possible, right?
I know. Shut up, Colin. That's a silly idea. Silly idea.
No. This is good.
People in movies don't change their clothes. They wear them for the entire franchise. The same outfit.
I thought about that. And he probably would have multiple shoes because he's invested in shoes. So I didn't even look at the shoes. But would a leprechaun have a different hat? Look at the buckles between the two hats.
Sacrilege.
Okay. I see what you're saying. You're saying, Chris, you need more proof, and more proof, sir. I have.
I think we'll have to. God, you're making these unbelievable claims. Like a leprechaun can't have more than one hat.
I'm starting with my least strong evidence, and I'm working my way forward.
Oh, you're building up for the kicker.
Yeah, I'm just reeling you in. So how about this one? In the first movie, he literally tells the officer, "I'm 600 years old." And in the second movie, this guy, who looks a little different, by the way, says that he's 2,000 years old. He says, "On my next 1,000th birthday, I'll stalk your fairest offspring." So he's 2,000 years old versus 600. That's a pretty big difference. Now, listen, I've been known to tell a fib about my own age from time to time. But I'm not saying to someone that I am less than half my age and expecting them to believe it. So that's a pretty big difference right away. But I think you need more evidence. I can see the look in your eye, and you need more, sir. And I have more for you.
Can you, though? Can you?
What about powers? In the first movie, the leprechaun only had the ability to mimic voices. Right, like he did with the poor wife of O'Grady. Just voices. In the second movie, his powers are completely different. He can now create an illusion, and I would show you what this illusion turns into, but I don't want to have the channel.
I don't think YouTube would appreciate it, or Twitch, or Facebook.
No, I did not do that.
Every platform that we're on would just be like, no.
But I'll send that to you in a private email if you want.
I've already screenshotted
I
from a personal personal collection.
I figured. But this is a completely new power. And he even says, fools humans like you. So this is completely different power. Where would that power come from if it was the same leprechaun? But again, I still think we need more evidence. I don't feel that you're convinced yet. So let's move on.
Or a different headdress, and 1,000 years ago, he's allowed to change his clothes every now and again. You're just
Change his
very
clothes.
harsh.
He could change his clothes. He could change his powers, maybe. And maybe he's lying about his age. I get it. We're not there yet. What about this? In the second movie, he lacks the ability to kill or harm the person that's holding his gold. Right? He goes right. I don't know if you can tell, but he goes right through Alex with the car. And Alex says, as long as I have the gold coin, he can't be hurt. Well, let's look back at the first movie. He jumps on poor Ozzy, who swallowed the gold coin. And he
don't forget the guy at the pawn shop.
Yeah, the pawn shop guy too.
Because he had a piece of gold and he met an untimely end.
Exactly. And poor Ozzy had the ever-living piss beat out of him.
Mm-hmm.
So this is completely different powers, completely different skill sets between these two leprechauns. And I do say two, sir. But I have more for you. And I think this one is one of my strongest pieces of evidence yet. At the end of the first movie, the first leprechaun who dies, he starts to turn, green like this. And then look what color he turns into as he is about to die. Purple and green. In the second movie, the leprechaun, as he's about to die, turns orange. I feel like this the JFK, where they have the magic bullet, back into the left, turns orange and then explodes. So we got purple and green versus orange. They're very
that's such a good shot.
I know, with the head sticking out. But the very nature, the intrinsic nature of the leprechaun is completely different. One is green and purple, the other is orange. They're very, very nature of reality is slightly different because they're different creatures. Finally, I have for you my most strong evidence yet. What is the most valuable thing to a leprechaun? The thing that these entire movies are all focused about.
Would it be me gold?
The gold, of course.
The gold, yes.
That would be the one thing. He may change his clothes. He may change his powers. He may lie about his age, but he would never change his gold. In the first movie, we open in the movie where he's looking at his pot of gold, and there's another shot where they zoom in. Look at it. 100 equal gold coins. And even the pot looks like this. In the second movie, completely different pot, completely different gold. It's not just gold coins, it's pieces of various jewelry.
But sir, my good man, you do know gold has a low boiling point.
He would not, his gold was the most valuable thing to him. He was so careful with it that he had to fight to get every little piece back.
Gold has a low boiling point, melting point, temperature-wise.
It does, but
and when you pour magic petrol, that causes a mini inferno. What chance do you think his gold had?
He would never add to the collection. He would never want it to change. He wanted it to be exactly like it was. He wanted his gold the same. For him. Well, sir, look, I think that's the strong.
I'm a denier.
I think we got to get those glasses off of you because those glasses are preventing the rays from getting to you.
I can't see. That's the point. They can't brainwash me. I'm protected. But
I think when you look at it, when you look at the age, you look at the clothes, you look at even his facial features are a little different. And especially when you look at the gold and his powers, I think these are two different leprechauns. I think when they said Leprechaun 2, they didn't mean 2 as in again. No, they meant 2 as in also. TOO. And that is my theory.
There's more than one. Oh dear. What will we do? Yeah. There you go, folks.
You be the judge at home.
It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory. Chris. Chris's crazy theory.
Oh, whoops.
Put your comments at home. Who you agree with?
Actually, we have after a long time we've been streaming. In fact, we were streaming last Sunday. There was a stream had to be cancelled last night because the game didn't get set up. But yeah, I'll stream. It's every 2 weeks, but the channel goes on and on.
Welcome. Thanks for coming.
That's the problem with Twitch, though. Twitch doesn't put up a calendar. Do you know why YouTube and Facebook give you an event?
Yes.
Twitch kind of goes, surprise, we're here. Doesn't give anybody any heads up. Unless you set, like, every week I'm doing this at a particular time. Like, yeah, I'm not a...
Yeah.
Twitch is a bit of a ropey platform.
But we are here usually every 2 weeks at
every
this time.
2 weeks we do
we're glad,
comedy horror.
Glad to have you. Yeah, come on back.
Sign up to the newsletter, folks. If you want to know what's happening, sign up to the newsletter. Well, every week. Because I give you all our upcoming streams for the next couple of weeks that we've got scheduled. And that's the best way to know. But yeah. Sorry, Remy, on Twitch. It's just that's that platform. Doesn't give you any more. But busy week, we're on every night. Different things. We've got Classic Horror with Steve. We've got our Australasian Horror with Dale. We've got our games with Brotherhood of Dice and Infinite Monkey Tales. Of course, our comedy horror with Chris. We've got horror anime with Flea every other Sunday. You know,
yeah.
And plus, when I get a chance to do random stuff in between.
And but Remy, let us know what you think. Is this the same Leprechaun in 1 and 2, or is it 2 different Leprechauns? As I propose? Is that the word?
Premise or no? I just a word for it. I don't know. Clever people know words. I don't.
I know. So leave us in the chat what word I should have used and which Leprechaun it is.
So in that case, the events of Leprechaun did happen, just with a different Leprechaun.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Not.
That's what I'm thinking.
But anyway, we jumped forward 1,000 years, which, to be honest, I think was a bit of a stretch. 500 years, maybe.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a bit. But hey ho, you know, like I said, you don't worry too much about continuing this. You sort of go along for the ride. But we end up in, I thought it was New York, but apparently it's LA.
Yeah, it definitely looked when they were. He had the hearse parked out in the street. It really looked like it was Manhattan, but
didn't it look like a whole New York thing as opposed to LA?
Yeah, I wonder if it was filmed there for time. Yeah,
but I suppose it would make sense for it to be in LA for the tours,
right?
You know, the
exactly
sort of Hollywood tour.
Yeah,
but yeah, we've got a hearse. We've got a Halloween style tour on Paddy's Day. Like, how much business did they think they were going to do?
Yeah, that was a strange combination. Who's taking a Halloween tour on St. Paddy's Day? Do you think it was just like a year-round thing that they did it year-round? And
it's not seasonal. It's like you know what I mean? They do the tours all the time, but you would think a major thing like that, like when the true horror comes out of the plastic patties, come out of their caves. Yeah, Moorish heritage, and the zombies roam the streets, drink a few beers and fall over. You'd think you'd go, I'm not getting involved in all that and not run that night.
Yeah. What was crazy too is it was $75 a person because it was 4 people and he hands $300 to his uncle at some point. That's pretty expensive for a
ride.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
A tour ride in a hearse.
Oh my god, I didn't put his name down. Anyway, MacGuffin bloke.
Oh, the uncle?
No, one of our main protagonists, the boyfriend.
Oh, Alex.
Alex. Right.
Yeah.
Sure, have there. Right. He's poor guy's in between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
yeah, alcoholics, man, can't trust them.
He did.
And
Alex did the right thing. You know, it definitely was very tempting with his girl to just like, it's not, it's not it's your business, to the uncle. Here, I got the money. Like, it's up to you. But if he did that and the uncle killed somebody, like he did the right thing by taking.
oh yeah, but that's the
Yeah.
problem when those sort of people. It's a bit of a bone of contention with me, but those people take advantage of that all the time. So if you have any sort of conscience, stay away from addicts.
Yeah.
They will destroy you. If you're any sort of conscientious person, yeah, so just stay away because you will get used up and thrown to the side. That's just the way they operate. Horrible. No, I just felt for the guy. He's done nothing wrong, and then he gets basically saddled taking the tour. He's not dressed up for it. He was just doing the tickets, helping out, and even that, his uncle couldn't even. And he's obsessed with money and always doing the racket, but the simple thing of actually doing a day's work, it's the same as those sort of shysters anyway. They can't, for some reason, get in their head, just do a day's work and you'll get money. They're always trying to scam the this, that, and the other. Like, he's trying to sell shares in his company instead of just making money and making it attractive that people approach him.
Right. Yeah,
So,
that's true. The thing that surprised me too was that the people waited so long. Like, I couldn't
from
believe
mid-afternoon to like nighttime. That was unreal.
They put them in the car, and they're obviously like tourists. Like, they
Mhm.
have a lot to do. That it's not like they live there. There's a lot they want to see, and then they're just sitting there for hours waiting for this person to show up. Like, after like 10 minutes, I would have been like, okay, I got scammed. They obviously took my money and left me. Either I'll
Bunch of
call the
tires
police.
of the hearse set it in
Yeah.
fire, head on.
Yeah. Or like call the police, or just
Kate.
say like I'm an idiot and walk away. I wouldn't sit there for like 4 hours waiting for them to come back. That was crazy.
Yeah, the kind of like, oh, plot, right? No, let's not bother.
Yeah.
Once again, it's just one of them things. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
The movie's sort of nudging and winking at you, going, "Don't worry about it. We need it to happen at night." It's like, just go with the flow. And like I said, I don't feel offended. I don't feel cheated.
No.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's movies that really annoy me, and that's because they're trying to like be high art and they're trying to be something they're not, and they're trying to tell you if you don't like it, you're a horrible person, etc., etc. So you instantly are turned off. But the likes of this movie, it's just we're here to have fun. Yeah, don't worry about it. We're sticking some stuff together till we get to the fun parts. You know what you're all here for. We're all here for Warwick Davis saying his lines and massacring people. We're just going to get you there.
I agree to some extent, although I do feel that, like, even in a movie like this, if you could eliminate those things that take someone like me, if it takes me out of the fake believability, whatever.
It'll take it to the next level. Just little tidying up things that don't
just
cost
little things. This way I could stay locked in, That's just me. So, like, for example, the tour thing, you could have just started it at night, and then it seems like it was only like a few minutes where he goes in to see his uncle. But the fact that the scene was shot in the daylight and now it's at night when he comes back, that's like a very minor thing they could have fixed, and it wouldn't have seemed like they were waiting there for hours. Little things like that. Just, I feel like you could just tighten things up, and then
a bit of dialogue. I've seen the fact that he was only selling in the afternoon. He went back to get his uncle, found him drunk, and he's meant to go pick something. I don't know. Right. Yeah, a little thing could have just tidied that up a bit. It just it does feel a bit, but at the same time, it's not enough.
Oh no, it doesn't take me.
Do you know why sometimes
not like it.
You're already in a bad mood with a movie, and it's things like that just really just drive you over the edge.
Yeah.
At the moment, that's not enough to put me off the movie, because
100%.
It set up the scene of, you don't worry about it. You're already told from like the start and the intro and stuff, don't worry about it. We're just going to get you there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You better I think you've just a bit more forgiveness.
Yeah.
Well, this movie, I think once again, it's the intention, isn't it, of the creators?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
You've
And the budget, and there's
Mhm.
a lot that goes into it.
No, but
I
even
feel
not like that's
Yeah.
us nerding out on this, but I'm just talking about your
Yeah.
general movie gore. If you just stuck this on and watched it, even if you hadn't seen the first one,
Yeah.
like you don't need to watch the first one to understand the plot.
Right. But I'm a big believer, and I think I've mentioned in previous reviews that your predisposition going into a movie really affects the outcome. If this is a movie that has been built up for months, and you see the commercials everywhere,
Hmm.
and it's big stars are in the movie, and you've heard that it's a big budget movie, and then you go and it's disappointing, you're extra disappointed because the
Yeah.
buildup was so long. If you go into a movie like this and you know that it's a sequel, the previous movie just came out a year ago, you could tell from the look of it that it's not, big budget.
Somehow it got into the cinema when it was meant to be straight to DVD.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like,
Exactly.
why is this in the cinema? Oh, gotta go see this sort of thing,
Exactly. You're not expecting much, so that bar is lower and it's
Mhm.
easier to clear. So,
But
hey,
I
a
think the
bar.
intention as well of a movie, like I said, the intention
Yeah.
of what the movie's wanting to do, if you feel like they want to entertain you, I just think your gears in your head change a lot.
Yeah.
You'll forgive things that you wouldn't in another movie, and it's all about that. And I don't know how to quantify it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It
But
does.
there's a bit in the back of your brain knows what the intention of the movie is, and a lot of times, especially recently, it's not for you to have a good time,
Yeah,
and
sure.
you feel that before you even go in or to start.
Yeah. You missed my metaphor. I said a bar to clear, and St. Patty's Day.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Working overtime today. not just a hat rack.
All right, yeah. All right, Shayon, how are you?
Hey Shay, haven't seen you in a while. How
Welcome.
you doing?
Yeah, it's been a while, flipping. Good to see you. Still a Scream fan? So sorry for you. We're watching sensible movies.
Sensible. Hey, put in the comments. What do you think?
That's
2
okay.
leprechauns or 1 leprechaun? We're gonna start a poll.
That's it, yeah. Yeah. The whole bit of this here that I still scratch my head at is as they're going through the tour of LA, they go past Houdini's house,
Yes.
and the good people of Killarney randomly sent him a tree, and not even like a bit of it. If somebody's shipping a tree, you would think it's like in a pot, plant,
Yeah.
not a friggin' 100, like a full oak tree.
Yeah. That's 1,000 years old.
Yeah. That'd be like folks in Londonderry sending one of the dark hedges, to someone as a gift. Those things are part of the landscape.
Right.
If you know what I'm talking about.
Not,
Dark, they use in Game of Thrones for King's Landing. They're known as the
oh,
dark
okay.
hedges, right?
Okay.
That'd be like the people in Londonderry rooting one of them things up and sending them over to somebody as a gift. You wouldn't
Yeah.
do it. So for such a substantial tree,
Well, what if they know it's Houdini, right? One of the most powerful wizards in the world, in the known world. What if they knew that the tree housed a leprechaun from past, myths and legends, and they wanted to ship it to Houdini, hoping that he could find a way somehow to deal with this problem and get it away from them?
But you'd send a set of instructions, wouldn't you? Oh, by the way, here contains and they'd use iron. Would they not use iron chains?
Well, they may not have known about that part of it. Yeah.
Just saying,
Yeah. There's a potential that this could have been a fun story thread if that they didn't want to deal with it. But
what?
There could be something to that.
Plot.
The Houdini Killarney.
Yeah.
Why they sent the tree. There could have been something there.
Here's the thing that I am really disappointed about is there's never been a Leprechaun versus movie. Like honestly,
Who would they verse?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You could have Leprechaun versus Chucky.
Oh,
It
that'd
all
be a good
depends
one.
on the cinemas and and the deals that can be done. But what do you call him? Billy out of Saw. You could have
Mm.
Billy come to life. That's just not even just size wise, but you have Leprechaun versus anybody. He's a supernatural being. He can take on anybody. We've seen him wipe out all sorts of like huge men and police and taking them gunfire and stuff. So, the world's a possibility. I just
Leprechaun versus Predator.
why the hell not?
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Somebody stole his gold. The predator takes him and then takes the gold as part of the prize. Leprechaun's all happy about it.
I'd watch that. I would watch that.
Absolutely. I miss what I'm saying is back when these movies come out, you had a sense of feeling anything was possible, and it would be done for just a laugh.
Yeah.
You had its genuine sense of, they'd probably, if somebody could pull that together, they'd give it a go and it'd be a laugh. And fuck, there's none of that today.
No. You don't see fun, like silly movies, especially with the horror genre, come out that often.
No, the last one was Renfield.
Right, which was widely hailed.
Roasted to hell. There's people still absolutely despise that movie.
Oh, really?
But it was the last one. It's the last movie to sort of come out in recent times. It was actually meant to be fun.
Oh, I thought it was successful. It's hard to get.
No, it didn't do well at the box office.
No, okay.
No, it didn't do too well at the box office. I think it's going to be another one of them ones that it's going to be DVD, Blu-ray, and collector's editions. No, it didn't. There was another one that tried Abigail. No, to be a comedy, but they were taking themselves too seriously. It was dark comedy, but still, there wasn't that sense of fun about it. They forgot that bit.
That's a shame because I feel like the pressure is on those types of movies because there's not many of them. That I feel like everyone that comes out that doesn't do well just reinforces the studio's mindset that these are not going to be successful, and then there's less chance of another one coming out. I feel like there's a lot of pressure when one does come out that it has to do well.
They tried it with I know Cameron disagrees with me with this one, but they tried it with the Poonaverse, the Winnie the Pooh stuff.
Right.
But the movies took themselves way too seriously.
Yeah, a movie like that.
We're expecting something like this. When you're thinking Winnie the Pooh being a horror movie, you're thinking something like Leprechaun.
Sure.
You're not thinking of something friggin' Christopher Robin being a depressed sociopath, on the verge of a breakdown, being accused of murder. It just didn't.
It sounds awful.
Yeah, they're not fun movies. They're not like, haha. They're going through the motions. It's like wearing a fun movie skin suit. We'll throw some effects in, we'll do this. But then they've forgotten that that's what I'm saying. I can't quantify this. You get a sense of a movie, what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
And you get them today, you're getting that sense of, they're not wanting me to enjoy myself. They don't care if I enjoy myself or not. They're just doing it to shit this thing out, and they're riding in controversy or nostalgia or whatever, but they're not actually interested in making entertainment.
Right. I agree.
And that's what I mean. There's so many flaws in this movie and the franchise as a whole. Like you fall down the plot holes. Like you're skating on thin ice to get over the plot holes that are haven't aren't gaping holes. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
There's the other one as well. Excellent.
Hey, Del.
We've got the trifecta today. All the platforms. Yay. We are winning.
Del would agree with me. 2 different leprechauns. I got Del on my side. I know it.
Yeah. But yeah, they have the tree. Just let's bring the tree. Let's have a plot point. Not the pot to go, but a whole friggin' tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
like an exposition. Here lieth the plot, so a movie can go forward.
Right.
They should have had the sign a bit wonky, a little touch like that would have just added to the ridiculousness.
Yeah. Or he should have like spray painted it like he did with the car later on. I want me gold.
That was brilliant. Like, we'll get that. That was yeah. So we'll have homeless guy comes and just this is his bed for the night. So here's the question though. Why has he not had a problem until now? Oh, it's the 1000th birthday. That's why the 1000th Paddy's Day.
Right.
It's the anniversary. That's what the plot is. That's what the right.
But it makes you think, what has he been doing in there for 1,000 years?
He wasn't tidying up, that's for sure.
No, but I'm guessing that place smells like Tide detergent or something. I mean, he's just there by himself for 1,000 years.
Yeah, God, and
not a lot to do.
Well, he's a cobbler. He could have made a load of shoes, put down a bit of flooring, but a carpet would have been nice.
Yeah, and he can make his own illusions. So,
yeah. Who needs VR?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what's going on.
Yep. Yeah, but obviously Hobo. Well, I don't think he opened the door. I think he just happened to be there when the door opened.
Right.
I think it was just a timing thing.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, and he didn't take any of the Leprechaun's gold, which I think is why he left him alive. He just ripped the gold tooth out of his mouth, but he left him alive because he didn't take anything.
Yeah, no, he just happened to be there, and
yeah,
like I said, it was the 1000th anniversary, so maybe it was part of the curse that he was trapped in there waiting.
Right. Yeah.
Which kind of it does make sense later on. Sorry, what the plan was and why the curse was the curse on O'Day.
Oh, right.
Because he was the lay witness to this.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole thing with the Canadian whiskey was hilarious. And you can see the string.
Yeah. Oh, Steve would have a field day with this one.
Oh yeah, you can see the string pulling the ball. You're just like,
yeah.
Yes. That's what I mean. Once again, it's they're being silly with it.
Yeah.
They're not using stop motion or anything, to try and make it super serious. It's a bit of string, just
right.
This is what we're doing. And sure enough, our Leprechaun arrives, and yeah, straight into character. Like, that's what I mean. That's just what we're waiting for. But like, oh yeah, plot. Yay, Leprechaun, let's do it.
He's great. He does such a good job, Warwick Davis, with this character. Like you're not supposed to like the villain, although some people do, but you can't help but not like this Leprechaun. He's just hilarious.
That's it. The quips, the whole, even his physicality of the role.
Yes.
Like, he really puts in, like, you've seen him in other roles and that, but he really puts a physicality into this Leprechaun.
Yes.
Like, he gives it its own gait, its own movement, and everything else, and it works. Like, nobody else could do it.
Right. And he's got to mimic the ability to move fast, even though in real life he is not able to move fast at all. I mean, not even now as he's gotten older, but even back then.
Because
just unfortunately because
physically, but
the fact
that he's brought a physicality. You don't even think about that, to be honest, when he's playing the character.
Exactly. That's what I mean. He does a great job of making it seem believable that he is moving quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's given he's playing a physical role. Right. So his gait and movement and the way he spreads his legs and stuff with the Leprechaun and everything else, nobody else could play that role because it would look different.
Right.
Like, you can recognize him from the first one. It's if they put somebody else in that Leprechaun outfit, you would know without even uttering a word. You would know it was something different.
Exactly.
Even with all the prosthetics and everything else, just the way he brings an accent to the character.
Right.
You know, and that's somebody just going, yeah, I'm playing this character, I'm going to own it, I'm going to make it like it, and it worked.
Yeah. Even though it's a different Leprechaun. I'll let it go. 3 more references and then I'll let it go.
But yeah, he's like, right, I'm off to find me bride, and away he goes.
Yeah.
Then we'll have this whole this is the worst scene because it was a bit I know you just need to get there. This is where I struggled to forgive. Alex has been stiffed by his uncle, and he's trying to obviously keep the business running. So Bridget, who seems to come from a well-to-do family, and therefore should understand money and what you have to do to earn it, she is proper falling out with him for not. If he was just being flaky or goofing off or something, and it's not like they've just been dating for 5 minutes. She obviously knows him, and she knows what his uncle's like, and she knows what he has to put up with. And I guarantee this isn't the first time that's happened.
Yeah. It's a great point, because I found she bothered me. Like, she is such an unlikable character, and it's such a different take on the Leprechaun female protagonist, because in the first movie, I thought Jennifer Aniston's character was very likable, even though she also came from money.
And she was a bit of a bubblehead at the start, but that was her character. But
right.
when the chips were down, you got that sense of everybody just coming together to face the threat.
Right.
And her airiness got thrown out the window when, people are in trouble. You believed it.
Right. Whereas with Bridget, she's awful. Like, she's messing with him. She's giving him the wrong index card. She's upset with him for having to drive, even though she knows that the uncle was drunk. And if Alex had just left the uncle to drive, he could have killed the 4 passengers and himself. So she's upset with him. She's giving him the wrong, she's sabotaging him.
Yeah, even if they give them their money back, that's bread. And you know what I mean? That's with those sort of tours as well. It's amazing how quickly word gets around.
Yeah.
Don't go near that one because it's a scam. Blah blah blah. They're out. You know what I mean? They're out of business. That's how they're putting bread on the table. So, what's her problem?
Yeah, and then she's willing to leave him, and you get the impression that they're not very serious at this point, but they are boyfriend girlfriend. She's willing to leave him to hang out with that other guy, like. And then there's a couple of times later on in the movie too where, you know, I know she's trying to fake that she's willing to be with the Leprechaun, but almost a little too convincing. Too good at it, yeah. So I found her very unlikable, and I was kind of rooting for her to actually get killed, to be honest.
To give birth to a litter of pups.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very, very strange. This is the only bit, like I said, it's plot points I find difficult to forgive. There's a lot of stuff I can brush past because maybe they could only do the night shot with the tour. Maybe they could only do, it's a timing thing, blah, blah, blah. Other reasons you can sort of brush past, but this is actual dialogue character choice.
Exactly.
And you're kind of like, okay. But then you're thinking again, are we meant to be on their side or are we meant to be on the Leprechaun side? Because I really don't think this franchise is... And you'll see when it goes along, you're on the Leprechaun side. Like, you're not really on the protagonist side.
Yeah, this one, I think they still wanted you to be on Alex's side, but I'm just not sure if they wanted you to be on Bridget's side or not. But definitely, I could see that. And there's a scene later on that we'll talk to where they definitely do want you to be a little bit on the Leprechaun's side and kind of wanting him to do well and kill some of these terrible people.
Yeah.
So
No, you're really Alex has really been set up as a sympathetic character in this.
Yes.
He cannot catch a break, and all he's trying to do is the right thing.
Right. I agree.
He's not a selfish prick in any way, shape, or form. But once
Right.
again, if you're if you're anyway compassionate or have like a conscience or anything, you have to be careful in this world. There are people there that will just use you and abuse you, take advantage of you. You're actually, if you're a sociopath, you have more chance of succeeding than somebody with a lot of genuine, not fake compassion, because they're sociopaths. But I'm talking about people actually genuinely want to help folks. You get suckered in all the time.
Yeah.
And you can see it with Alex. He just wants to do the right thing by Bridget, by his uncle. Just get through life, go to the next, make his way. And
Yeah.
he's being hammered from all directions, and then now he has a crazy leprechaun to deal with.
Right. Right. We've all been there. Yeah.
So Bridget goes to the go-karting. I'm gonna meet Todd, isn't it? Or Todd or Brad, or it's one of them names. Bro dude name.
I forgot to look it up.
Bro dude. She meets bro dude. But yeah, he's running the go-karting thing. Cody?
Yeah. Let's see. Ian. Ian was the character.
All right, okay. Who was Cody?
Cody. Let's see. Oh, Cody.
Have we been calling?
Oh, Cody was. I said Alex. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Cody was the main character.
Yeah, sorry, we've been calling him
Alex. I've been calling him Alex. That's my bad. Yeah,
No,
Cody
me too, because I didn't put down the name. I'm like, I'm terrible with names.
To be in my defense, he looks like an Alex.
Yeah, he does have an Alex vibe. The Ian has more of a Cody vibe to him. That's a bro dude name.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, Ian decides he bought Bridget a chili dog. Therefore, he's owed something.
That's such an 80s thing, right? That was always the guys were always trying to get laid no matter what. They were so obsessed with the girl had to put out. It was like every movie thing in the 80s.
But that's
like
yeah. But that is let's be honest, that's late teens, early 20s. Your penis takes over your brain. And yeah, that's it. You just want to find something warm and wet. You're just like, it just takes over and goes, I want to go. You're coming with me. And your penis just leads you through life.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone reacts like that. I bought you a chili dog.
That's
so now you have
hyperbolic.
To. That's a bit much. That's a bit rapey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once again, we're not meant to like Ian.
No, exactly.
And it's a perfect setup for the next scene.
Yes. That was some way to go, I tell you.
So he's got brushed off. Like, Bridget's like, no, I'm going home. Go away from me. Slams the door in his face. And then she randomly appears in the garage. And I've changed my mind, but we're going to do it here. And he's like, okay. Like I said, penis takes over brain. Like, common sense goes, no, not going, no.
Yeah, with the garage door open and the whole neighborhood watching. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works. But the best bit about the scene are the stunt double boobies. Like, oh my god,
Yes.
that is. She's even a different skin tone. I just love the fact that she's there. She's got a certain body shape, and then we'll see the next shot in low neck, different skin tone, fake boobs, like completely different.
Well, I started thinking about that. I wonder if this production was actually only 4 months to make the movie, and then the 2 months was the casting director. So I need to see more. I need to bring in more. I'm not sure studio that we have.
Obviously, the actress wasn't. I don't know what age she was or what, or she just wasn't doing nudes. But I just think that's brilliant. The fact that it's like not even remotely the same person.
Yeah. But good for the channel. We have to get keep our KPIs up, right?
Oh, absolutely. You know, the booby quota has to be met.
And I think those should be worth double because those were, well endowed.
Yeah, but the problem is they're slightly manufactured.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Pervert. But yeah, he's put under a thrall that she's just going to have Adam in the garage with the door open, and yeah, Leprechaun's
Yeah.
casting a spell.
Like I get the illusion part, but you'd think as he was moving closer to them, he'd be like, why is there a lot of wind coming from them? Because those blades were spinning pretty quickly.
I think it's just representing the glamour. You know, that it's just completely shut off his senses.
Yeah.
But still funny, like just.
Oh yes. Oh, it was hilarious. Yeah. I was surprised that they did it like off camera. You just saw the shadow. I guess they were trying to keep it more not family friendly, but I mean
that and probably the cost as well, because that would not be an easy shot to do.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. It's actually Brain Dead with the famous lawnmower scene where he comes up with the lawnmower and he's hacking through all the aliens.
Okay.
Zombies. Like that's a scene. And that's a lot of work. So this is like a rush production. They're not doing the prosthetics and the special effects for that, because that's seeing all that happen is a lot of work.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that makes sense.
It could have been worse. They could have used CGI and digital blood.
Yes, that's fair.
And that would have been awful. In fact, that's what they do today. You don't be a CGI thing and digital blood, and you just like, nah. At least this, you still got that hint of, oh god, it happened. Aha, you know.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have Cody then. He comes to the house just as the Leprechaun's breaking in, and just absolute chaos ensues.
That was a great battle scene, wasn't it? Like I enjoy when the Leprechaun has to fight multiple people at once. We saw it a little bit in the first one where they all teamed up on him.
Yeah.
And this where like pots and pans were falling and stuff like that. Like I think those are a lot of fun because like we mentioned, I think Warwick Davis does such a good job with the physicality of it. And it's just the fun just juxtaposition of he's tiny and slow, and yet he's intimidating and scary, or supposed to be intimidating and scary at the same time. And it's just that, juxtaposition that I find is just entertaining in those fight scenes.
Yeah, and that's he's put in a lot of effort, and even a stunt double. The switch over to a stunt double still.
Yeah.
Have to use somebody with dwarfism as a stunt double. It's not like they could do that, and that's somebody like proper. I'd struggle to do that sort of physicality, the jumping about and stuff, especially now I'm a fat knacker bag. So you have to be physically fit and, prepared, and also the choreography as well.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was brilliant, but the whole bit, like, Cody just gets owned. He's no chance. He gets smacked out, but the coin roll at the end. But he basically Leprechaun steals his bride. That's it. Game over. But the coin just rolling perfectly right between Cody's fingers. You're like, yeah. I wonder how many takes that took.
Yeah. That was a month of the production right there.
Yeah, there you go. That was like just doing that one scene.
Right. That was a great scene though.
Yeah, then we're back at the lair. And I tell you what, they're really putting effort in with the set piece of this.
They did. They also used it quite. They got their money's worth with it.
Oh, without a doubt, wouldn't you?
Yeah. They spent a lot of time in that. I felt like the first movie there was more variety in locales.
Mhm.
You had inside the house, you had the basement, you had the street, you had the forest, you had the nursing home. There was like a lot of different locations in the first
Mhm.
movie, whereas this one I felt like it was basically um, inside the tree, inside the lair,
Yeah.
and the the what do you call it, the
Oh,
racetrack,
the go-kart track, yeah.
yeah, the go-kart track, and that's
Which
not
is
much
funny
else.
considering this is taking place in a city.
Yes,
Yet the first one took place in a farmhouse where you'd think the opposite would be true. That
right,
there's less to play with, so therefore it'd be limited.
yeah.
Where this one, yeah, the entire city to play with, yet uh they didn't do as much. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
But we did have the good round time. We did, we had all the scenes in the setup and stuff. I get a feeling that they were trying to tell a particular story here from coming at a different angle, and that's with Bridget being, you know, claimed as such, and they wanted. Do you know why a lot of movies? That's the threat, and they're preventing it to happen. But that's the start off. Basically, uh, third into the movie, it happens. He's got her,
Right.
and I think probably felt they had to do something with that rather than having them chase them all the time.
Interesting. Yeah. I can see that.
Because that would be the normal trope for a movie like this. That basically he's coming after her, they get away, he chases them again, they get away, they chase him again. This they decide to go a different way where she gets caught basically early on, and then they've got to figure out how to win.
Yeah. I thought it had an interesting look, the inside of the tree, like the idea that that's where he lives, so it has more power there, almost like a vampire, and in its own lair has
Yeah.
more power. So I thought it was an interesting approach. I just felt maybe they spent a little bit too much time, but that's a
No, I get
minor.
it because it seemed to go on for quite a bit.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a minor complaint
well,
though. It
let's
worked.
compare it to Killer Clowns from Outer Space. They did a big set piece with the circus tent, but we didn't feel like all the movie took place inside the circus tent.
Right. It was really just towards the end, and you were so interested in that movie of looking for any little hint of what these aliens were, the killer clowns, that you were like fascinated by what does that do? What does that device do? What is that,
I know what it looks like, but what does it really do? Sort of
Yeah,
thing.
right. And there was like these creatures like down below, and
Yeah,
right,
there
there
was
was
all sorts going on, but it wasn't.
yeah,
You weren't spending half the movie in the
right,
circus tent.
right, exactly.
You
It's
were using
just
the
enough.
town, the village, a lot of locations, and that back and forward, and it's cool. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with this. That yeah, a lot of time was spent there. Like they really went to town with the set piece.
Yeah,
But I feel like they were trying to, just my sense, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I feel like they were trying to break the mold, not just be a repetitive sequel or be a repeat of the first one where they get the gold and Leprechaun chases them for the gold. I honestly feel like they were trying to just do something different.
yeah, I could see that. And I thought it worked. I just like it was just a minor
No, but
observation. Yeah,
that's what I said. There's more plot holes in this than you can fill in with a ton of cement,
yeah,
and there's bits missing and all. But it's back to what I'm saying about the intention of the movie. I think you felt it too, because if you didn't, you wouldn't have enjoyed yourself. You'd be only concentrating on the flaws.
right. No, I
And
had
then,
fun with this for
yeah,
sure.
you
Yeah,
you feel like they want you to have fun, and you buy into the fact that you're here for a good time.
yeah,
So and the only reason there's niggly bits is because we're reviewing it and we're doing the nerd thing.
yeah.
Like if you were just watching this on a Friday night or a Saturday night with the family, you'd probably gloss over most of this. Let's be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I've always said like reviewing a movie has really opened up like a whole new like wavelength where you do start to look at things a little bit differently, and
Oh, yeah, I'm
it's
not. Once you open that door, it doesn't close again.
it doesn't close. I was gonna say, so when you say like if I was watching this on a Friday night, would I gloss over these things? Probably not anymore because I've been trained to notice these annoying things. So you've ruined movies for me, is what I'm saying.
Oh no,
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's a fun. It's definitely a fun way of looking at things.
I have
So
given
do
you a
notice-
mechanism to enjoy really terrible movies. Because instead of getting angry and disappointed, you're like, haha, I gotta rip the shit out of this one. Let's go. Wins an extreme.
That's true. This is 100% true.
To me, I've found myself enjoying like really just the experience of watching some shit movies because I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get toward this one.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about this. Yeah, that's 100% true.
Always a pause, always silver linings. There's
That's right.
too much doom and gloom in the world that I mean, let's pucker up. This is the comedy section. We're here for a laugh.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the whole idea of the magic of the leprechaun, she's the breed, and the fact that leprechauns do breed, and they need it, but she can't be bred as a human. She has to be transformed. And then we're seeing that the magic's linked to the gold. It's it's not coincidence that he collects gold. It's actually linked to his magical powers.
Right. And that was one of the few continuity things they brought over from the first movie, because the first movie, when he comes out of the box, Leprechaun 1, he tries to like close the door to keep Ozzy from leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And Ozzy was able to just open it and leave. And he says like, oh, my powers are weak or something like that. I need my gold. So they've hinted at that. That's one of the few things they brought over, that definitely the leprechaun's magic is tied into the gold. And if they're away from it, it becomes weak. So that is something that, I hope they explore in future movies, because I'm kind of interested to learn more about that the bond between the gold and the magic.
Yeah. And the fact that it has a purpose. I like that too. He's not just after gold for the sake of it.
Right.
Yeah, the fact the gold's changed is interesting as well. I don't know. You could think a couple things about that.
Two more. I got two more.
That's the thing. That's the beauty about this. You're not being painted into a corner where you're stuck.
Yeah.
It could very well be the same, the different one. Who cares? Once again, it's the intention of the movie. That's what I'll keep coming back to that. Here, folks, want you to have fun? Would you come along for the ride? Yeah, why not? Yeah, that was cool. But obviously Cody tries to follow Bridget to the go-kart place.
Right.
And
because they read in that book, they read in the book that
he tries to talk to Morty about it.
Yeah, was it iron or something that wrought iron is the only way, and he immediately thinks of that safe that he happened to see when he was chasing Bridget that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why they wanted to go there, and I thought that was a fun scene. I think
it's not a very good save when you can just move it about.
No, that's a good point. That is a good point.
I don't think that might have been iron. I think that might have been cardboard. Paint the cardboard the way they were moving that.
Yeah, that is a good point. But I thought that whole scene was fun. The idea of trying to trap him, where he goes in through the like the dog door or whatever and
mm-hmm.
they close it on him and stuff, and the three wishes, like that whole scene I thought was enjoyable.
Yeah. But obviously before that, we had the bar scene where he starts chasing him. There's that particular scene where he's waiting at the end of the bar, and they do a camera shot where he's just on the other side and goes, "I want me gold." I don't know. There's something about that was just so great.
Yes,
the way they did that camera pan and the way the joviality went out of his voice.
Yes. There are times when he's sinister. He plays it sinister, and it really works. And that was one of those, because it was not just the fact that he's close to you and there's the danger aspect of this, magical evil creature who's already killed, who's, less than 10 feet. But the fact that there are all these oblivious people, all these, people that are also vulnerable, that don't know what's going on, that almost adds attention to it. innocent bystanders.
Yeah. They could tear through with. We've discovered because of a supernatural power, you can just tear through people. It wouldn't matter if you sent an army after him.
Right. So that added a little bit to that scene. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's right. Because he'd been the go-kart place, he'd discovered what happened, and then he went back to get help for Morty, and then, of course, has the end up in a bar. He's got chased. But there was a bit of a double meaning of the bit where how many leprechauns, people dressed up as leprechauns with dwarfism, and that's the thing. Back then, they didn't bat an eyelid, but see now, because of people hyper focus and everybody's, like you said, box ticking, that was never noticed back when it first came out. Nobody gave a shit. Nowadays, they'd be like, oh, representation. No, you're not representing them right. You're not doing this. You're not,
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to have the fun that they did with this now. It would be totally serious. It'd be a sermon. It would be something where here we'll have folks, not their fault, but they're treated as equal they're equal actors. They're part of the plot. They're given entertainment, and then we'll have that bit of the drinking scene, where Morty, he thinks he's going to scam the leprechaun. He thinks he's a bit of win, a bit of wah. Challenging the drinking competition, and they're all going, one of us.
Yeah.
That is subtext. That is subtlety. That is proper inclusion. Not this fake, contrived shite that wears the mask, the skin suit of inclusion today, which is just a bunch of whiny kids that don't have anything going on in their life. This is where, look, here's an opportunity to give folks a job and a role, and this having part of the party. The word representation wouldn't have even fucking occurred. Do you know what I mean? It would have just, let's have people dressed up. Oh, cool. And the union, the Dwarf Actors Union, whatever, I can't remember the official name for it, but oh, cool. Yeah, do you want to be in a movie? Sweet. So many people, and just everybody felt together.
That's a good point. It didn't occur to me when I was first watching it, but how different
people
times have changed.
Beside other folks and us, and everyone just sitting together, having a fucking laugh.
Yeah.
And a scene, and you felt a sense of togetherness and no barriers. Barriers were removed. Where today they put the barriers up and they make it all about that, and it doesn't help. It fucking does the opposite.
Yeah, that's a great point. I feel like today they wouldn't have hired those actors because they wouldn't want to portray them in a negative light. Meanwhile, those actors would have lost out on a job.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, I think some of these
Peter Dinklage, you cock. Sorry, did I just come out there?
No, Tourette's is a terrible thing.
Yeah.
You're dealing with it. You're doing a great job with it, pal. But yeah, social media crusaders. A lot of times they think they're doing the right thing, but they often cause more harm than good. And that would be a good example. If they took away all those jobs so that they weren't portrayed in a negative light, then those people wouldn't have gotten paid.
Who was portrayed, once again, who was portrayed in a negative light?
That's what I'm saying. I was just going to say, but it's not portrayed in a negative light.
Yeah, they would say that, but nobody here, like I said, everyone's out. They're dressed up for, it's a party day. I'm going to dress up. Yeah, I'm better at it than you because I've got an advantage.
Yeah.
Fucking why not? That's fucking life. You have, and like I said, everyone's in the bar. There's no separation. There's a couple of folks with dwarfism sitting together, but they're sitting beside people like us, and everyone's all together having a laugh, and it's all about the leprechaun. Them not realizing he's an actual leprechaun.
Right.
And they're just the fact that he's drinking competition. Oh yeah, let's go. Yo. They probably Morty didn't buy those drinks. They probably did because there's no way Morty could afford the fucking 20 bottles of the best whiskey.
Right.
Rye what he asked for. Fucking rye, who did? Oh my god. Fucking plastic parties do my head in. At least have a malt whiskey if you're going to do Patrick's Day. Fuck's sake. That's the most offensive part of this, that they're fucking drinking rye instead of malt.
Not the Canadian whiskey.
Oh god, no, that's Canadians can't be anything, right?
It was also good to see. I think his name is Tony Cox, the little person who was in Bad Santa. He was the black
Oh god,
little
yeah,
person.
with the chocolate coins,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
became a major plot point in this.
Yeah,
Fucking yeah,
that was a little obvious foreshadowing, but it was fun.
it
It
was
was fun.
cool though.
You
Once
saw it
again,
coming. You saw it coming a mile away.
yes,
As soon as he gave
it's
him that,
slapstick.
it's
It's
funny.
slapstick.
Yeah,
You see the plank, the
yeah,
move, the plank, the duck, the move, the plank, the duck. You know he's getting hit in the head with the plank.
right.
That's the basics of slapstick comedy, and
Absolutely,
yeah, I just
absolutely.
I'm sick and tired of these fucking stupid children, and I'm talking about children in their 30s going, before we came along, me. And you're like, fuck off. We had this shit sorted, and we were having more fun than you boring bastard. Fucking do one. World wasn't perfect. It never was, never will be, but fucking hell, we tried. And we've made a better job of it than you fuckers doing now with your crusades, because all you do is wind people up and fucking cause problems.
Yeah, yeah. Another example, I was listening to a podcast recently, and there was Don Cheadle, who's a black actor.
Well,
You're
he was in
probably
the
familiar with him.
superhero shite, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's in the superhero movies and the Ocean's 11 movies and things like that. And he was talking about one of his first
How many of
jobs
those are
he
there
had.
now?
What's that?
How many of those oceans movies? And
I
then
know there
like
was like
fucking 10 of those now or something stupid.
there was a few, and then there was a couple of female ones that came out. But he was talking about how one of his first jobs he had was going to be on a commercial where he played someone who was out of a job and was on a phone call, or he just got fired from a job, and his mom is calling, and it's like AT&T or something like that, and he says that the mom asks him how did your job going, and he's like, and he just says like you're going through a tunnel, or the quality's not good or something like that, because he didn't want to tell her that he just got fired or whatever. And long story short, basically he got fired from that job because they didn't want to portray a black actor as being fired from a job. So the irony is that he was actually fired in real life from a job
because they didn't want the
because they didn't want the image of a black actor of a black person being
because
fired.
all they see is the fucking box that gets ticked, not telling a human story. They just happen to have somebody with immutable characteristics that you can't change.
Exactly. So that that reminds me of this situation where, like today, they wouldn't have hired those little people, actors, for that reason. They wouldn't want to portray it in a negative light, and then again, you're just making their lives worse by your imposing your own sense of judgment and morality.
Yeah, sorry, you can't be an actor because we might feel guilty about it. You can't do what you want to enjoy. Sorry, tough shit.
Right.
I'm so caring. I'll change my social media badge. Yay, I'm a good person.
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought that was funny. It's reminded me of that.
There's a reason I can't get into the social, what do you call it, culture war shit, because I'm a dickhead. And I would just be on here for hours calling people out because they're arseholes. It's nothing to do with one side or the other. They're fucking arseholes.
Yeah.
Because there's other side, sometimes the other side calling them out as well, just as bad. You know what I mean? Just a bunch of fucking absolute melts.
Yeah.
And I would drive myself crazy getting into that.
Yeah.
I just like to point out the stupidity of it, and next week, obviously, we've got to talk on, we can see a bit from the other side of, the, what do you call it, the prejudice of the day, the other side of the fence. You see that too, and yeah, it's the same people, just wear a different uniform, but the same arseholes.
Yeah.
I think the rest of us who just want to get on with life and have a bit of fun, I think we're sick of it.
Yeah,
just
for sure.
tired because you're boring. If that's your whole life, you're a boring cunt.
Yeah. I keep thinking, and I have a friend who
I love the way I have to swear twice as hard because you're polite. So I have to like where the cam's on, I can down. I can sort of relax a bit. Like he's got the swearing covered. I can relax.
Cam has some interesting curse combinations too. He's put some words together that I didn't.
Yeah,
I never considered that, but yeah, I just lost my train of thought thinking about that. But yeah.
Nah, just chill out, people. Seriously, just fucking relax.
Yeah.
Just what's important in life is just making your way in the world. Just do something constructive. Put that energy into something, creating something.
Yeah.
Anything. Just, don't sit with that rain cloud on your head. It's not comfortable. It's like old leather, old leather gets comfortable, but it's old leather at the end of the day and it's going to fall apart. It's not a good, just stop it.
And I keep thinking that the pendulum is going to swing the other way. I have a friend
Well,
who
if it swings too far the other way, then you get Christian rock. We don't want that.
That's fair.
I don't want, I don't want to get preached to by either side of this coin. I'd rather just bounce along the edge, and careful not to fall over on the other side. But
yeah,
but
I meant like the political correctness. Yeah. I do want to see that start to swing back towards.
But we don't want to go like way or where just everyone's. It never really was that far because there was always, once again, people try and tell you it wasn't, but it wasn't. There was always that bit of, whoa, don't cross the line.
Yeah.
What I'm worried about is there's going to be an overcorrection. And it goes way too far the other side. And guess what? It doesn't matter whose side's preaching to you. If you're being preached to, that's not a fun experience. I enjoyed movies.
It's fair.
Just read E.T., The Book of the Green Planet. That is actually the official sequel to E.T. They just never made it into a movie.
Fraggle Rock scared the...
Done, Fraggle Rock.
That scared the bejesus of me as a kid. There was something about like way the characters moved. That and Dark Crystal, those were, I don't know.
They're all Jim Henson. Jim Henson was borderline. We never got a proper Jim Henson horror movie. I think Jim Henson.
Oh, that would have been cool.
If Jim Henson had went down that direction, oh my god, he would have taken us to places like we didn't even know we could go.
Yeah.
He had that eye about them. Did you watch the Dark Crystals series they brought out?
I didn't.
The castle after one season, that was bloody brilliant. They had this like carriage thing, and these like millipedes things became the whales. They actually rolled over and became the whales, and the whole mechanism of just that alone was breathtaking. Do you know when you watch something, you're just like, wow, that's a lot of effort. That's somebody, once again, the intention of, I want you to have fun. I want you to leave your life aside for an hour or two and go somewhere else just to escape life, because life's hard enough. I just want you to, step into my world for a bit, step into my universe I've created. Hope you enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
I miss that.
Yeah.
But they had to oh yes, that's right. And then the cave thing as well. God, there was some creepy stuff in that series. It was brilliant.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
And I remember, no, here we go, tangent time. Do you remember the time they all tried to not eat the constructions that the dozers made?
I don't remember.
So they decided they were feeling bad for eating the dozers' constructions. And then it became part that the dozers just kept going and going and going and didn't know when to stop. So they realized that actually they were part of an ecosystem, that they had to eat the dozer stuff because the dozers weren't going to stop. So that's why they're, and they're... Once again, there was almost a subtle message about not messing with ecosystems there. But subtext, if you wanted to take the message or not, or just take it at face value.
Yeah.
You were left to make up your own mind. How can a kid's TV show with puppets be more clever than the thought-provoking pieces they create today?
Yeah.
Welcome, Blur, by the way, and thanks for that. That's food for thought. Love our tangents, but
That's
yeah,
awesome.
when you see even the makeup, and there's some, what is it? That guy who straight away goes to give the leprechaun a card, and he sees the gold ring, and he's like, "No, I'll have that." He just rips his finger off, just randomly.
Oh, that was great. That was great. Which that guy also seemed like he'd be like a New York City guy. That's why I thought.
Yeah,
It
that's
was,
that's a bit
yeah,
I'm scratching my head. When they said it was LA, I'm like, no,
yeah, yeah.
this isn't
But that
this is Manhattan or somewhere, because it just doesn't have that vibe about it. But I'm a
right.
foreigner,
But
and I
that
know
was
this.
another. But that was another example how they did kind of want you to be on the Leprechaun side, because that guy was, you
Oh,
know,
he was sleaze. He was pure,
yeah, he was
yeah,
sleazy,
yuppies,
yeah,
sleaze type. You know,
yeah. And I think the best example was the barista.
that scene was pointless. I didn't like
It
that scene.
I think it definitely seemed out of place, but I
Mm.
think it was the same idea where they're trying to get you on the side of the leprechaun a little bit. And this guy was so deserving
Oh
of
yeah, but
getting
that
his
was
face
it was,
melted, you know?
honestly. I don't think it added anything to the movie. I know it was making all short jokes and stuff. We got it. They'd already done it nicely with the subtext. You know what I mean? We got
Yeah.
it, and we actually got the positive message in the bar beforehand,
Hmm.
so we didn't need that. But also, just the fact he's in an espresso bar drinking, and we've never seen the leprechaun pay for anything. That would have been an interesting thing. How does what was the leprechaun? You know, if you had to give him the ring, would he
Yeah.
pick off the guy's finger?
That would have been, yeah, that would have been funny.
Yeah, but just the fact that he's in there drinking like 20 million espressos to cure his hangover and sober up, that was a funny scene in its own.
Yeah, it's weird. Like at
And then it
times,
just went too far.
yeah. I feel like at times the movie only wants the leprechaun to kill people that are not necessarily deserving of being killed, but are just not good people.
Mm,
So we see that, with greedy people that steal from him, or
yeah.
people that, like the barista that deserve it. But then there's other times where like
Well, the homeless guy didn't do it, didn't deserve what he got.
he did, but he survived. So
Yeah, but he still got his tooth ripped out of his head for
he
no
did,
reason.
yeah. But then like there's also scenes with like the security guard who seemed like a great guy who was
Mhm.
doing his job to protect people, and he ran him over, gleefully and killed him. So I don't know. I feel like that the producers haven't decided if they want the leprechaun to just kill bad people or it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, yeah, it's. I don't think they were. I don't think they were like thinking too hard about that. They just wanted to make a, like I said, a fun movie,
Yeah.
a dumb fun movie. The problem is, once you start a franchise, once you make that first sequel, you've started a franchise. You have created lore.
Yeah.
You have created rules into existence that therefore you've set a precedent. And if you're still figuring out as you're like 2, 3 movies down the line, yeah, you're kind of in trouble.
Yeah. I'm curious to see where they go from here, because there was no mention of the four-leaf clover
Yeah.
from the first movie
Yeah.
as important. There was all this added stuff with the gold coin being able to protect the person who holds it.
Because it's part of his magic, and it's not gold coins, it's random cool pieces.
Yeah, the whole wrought iron thing, like they really added a lot of new stuff. So I'm curious if they stick with it in the future ones. Don't tell me if you remember. I want to be surprised, but I'm just curious if it's any, if there's any kind of lore built up.
It's very loose. The whole thing's very loose. Don't be expecting it. Like I said,
Yeah.
This is the thing. Once you create the sequel, you've created lore. It doesn't mean the studios know about it.
Yeah.
God, if you look at the Hellraiser movies, for example, flip's sake.
Yeah.
It fell off a cliff. After the first two, it just kind of went, whoa, what are you doing? Oh, actually, Shaves on the channel art, we check out our two-parter, 2 videos with Cameron and I did with Shay on Shay Rants. That was fun.
I saw that.
We made him
cool.
blush. That's
Yeah. Yes.
when you
Poor
make your
Shay.
host blush. That's it. You've won.
Poor Shay.
Ah, dear. He knew what he was getting into. It's his fault. Ah, dear. But yeah, then we get the betrayal scene. That really annoyed me.
What aspect?
Morty's betrayal.
Yeah, but what part of his betrayal? Just the fact that he
All
did?
of it.
Yeah,
All of
that
it. There was
he did
no
that to his
reason.
nephew.
He
Yeah, I think
decides he's going to just sort himself out. Screw you. And that's what I'm saying about you can't trust algos. You can't trust them. They will take everything from you, sell you down the river, and still act as if they're the victim and you still owe them something. It's just it's not even the substance, it's the brain, whatever way the brain works and the other actions. The fact that he would happily do that, where
it's a
he
fair point.
can't just turn up and do his fucking job, which wouldn't cause a whole load of trouble in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, here's a simple way. You want money? Go do your fucking job. Turn up and take the tour.
Yeah.
Have a drink afterwards. Get hammered. But do that. Do a couple of hours work for the nice price that you're charging. No?
It's
Too
a fair
hard?
point. The thing that bothered me too was how
I
he
might be
handled
taking this a bit personally.
Yeah, this does sound a little personal.
It does rub me up the wrong way.
Yeah. I feel like there's a story there, but
Mm.
I don't know if you want to share it with
No,
us.
that's not for the channel. I'll get into that.
But the thing that bothered me about Morty was how he handled the three wishes too. So he's trapped the leprechaun. He's essentially won, and this is also a new thing that you could get three wishes. It's not just the gold. You could get wishes out of the leprechaun. That wasn't in the first movie either. But the fact that his first wish was to take the leprechaun's gold. He could have just asked for $1 billion, which obviously would be a lot easier to spend if it's in cash. If you have the leprechaun's gold, you still have to find someone to convert it, and what a pain in the neck. If you're going to wish, just wish for the money. So he
or to
wishes,
be independently wealthy, not for an amount, because you know, like with Jinn, the whole point of wishes are they're tricksters.
Right.
The whole point of the three wishes is they never do you well. That's the whole moral story behind the three wishes or the monkey's paw, is that careful what you wish for, you might just get it.
Everyone should know that by now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's saying
one of the
is there for a reason.
Warnings of time is wishful thinking.
Right.
Pipe dreams don't get you anywhere. It's actually doing something, putting something out there in the world, grafting, turning up to work on time, doing your bloody job, getting paid, not pissing your money down the drain, but actually putting towards something. You mightn't get exactly where, but you'll get somewhere. You know, that's the reason we have stories, is to tell our brains that we have to do this.
So you would think that he would know, to be very careful with the wording of his wishes. And the first thing he asks for is for the leprechaun's gold.
Yeah.
You know that's going to backfire. It reminded me of the joke where the friend, goes to visit his buddy, and he walks up to the house, and where it used to be a small house is now this giant mansion. And then he walks inside and he sees his buddy there. And next to his buddy is this beautiful woman. And the friend says, like, yeah, I found a lamp, I rubbed the lamp, and I had three wishes. That's how I had this beautiful mansion, and I had this beautiful girlfriend. And then the friend says, well, that explains those two things, but what about that giant rooster? And he's like, well, maybe I said it wrong. And again, it's all about being very careful on the wording.
Right. Yeah. So, but that's one of the things. But yeah, of course, Morty's he's self-centered. The fact that he wouldn't let his nephew rescue his girlfriend, locked him up, and all he could see himself as a quick buck. It's not even about the amount or anything. It's just that, a quick victory.
Yeah.
Chasing the pipe dream again. He'd rather spend time drunk at a bar, making an idiot of himself, to sell his shares instead of doing the thing that actually brings in money that actually people pay for him to do.
Right.
It's just indicative of that character. Like, they got his character so right, but what a comeuppance.
I was gonna say that was a cool way for him to go. I thought that was he got his just
Dialogue
deserved.
that Warwick uses, as a leprechaun, is brilliant.
Yeah.
And the tone and everything else.
Yeah.
Is that your wish? Just and
Yeah.
the joviality going back to the sinister, like you said. Like,
Yeah.
haha,
He does it so well when he does it. Yeah. Yeah. That was a great way for Morty to go. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, just that, and obviously then we get Cody escapes, and then we'll have the go-kart scene, which is
That
oh my
was so
god,
much
just so
fun.
much fun. Just the fact me gold up the side, like just
Yeah.
meta stuff there, just
The fact that he took the time and with everything that's going on, he's trying to get his money, he's trying to get back to his bride. The fact
he's
that he
not in
took
a
the
rush.
time
Let's
to
be honest.
spray. I know.
He's all the time in the world.
Yeah, that's true. But the fact that he took the time to spray paint me gold on the go-kart.
Yep.
It's just hilarious.
Even go-kart is like, because he did it with a tricycle, the first one, he didn't transform, but the fact that, this is a theme as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, the security guard was a bit of an idiot, but he's just a classic example of somebody that gets a high-vis vest and has power and takes it too seriously, like they actually matter. He's just that,
Mhm.
just a bit of a thicko. That's why he's a security guard. And
Yeah.
that's why he thinks it's a super, because unfortunately those sort of jobs attract those sort of people.
Yeah. I did feel bad for him though, compared to some of the other people in the movie that got killed. You know, the guy really was trying to do his job and protect people. A little overzealous, but
yeah. But
yeah.
that's it. People are breaking into the go-kart thing after hours. Yeah, that's my job. Fair enough, but yeah. I think it was just to set up the scene that Cody was safe because he had the gold coin.
Exactly. Right. He got ran over and Cody didn't. Yeah,
Mhm.
100%. By the way, that's a pretty good effect for this lower budget when the car goes through Cody. I even, I did a screenshot in the earlier segment, and even the screenshot. Sometimes when you take a screenshot, the effect.
It becomes glaringly obvious.
Yeah, and no, it looked good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's once again just practical effects, good camera work. It's a bit of effort wanting to tell a good story, wanting people to have fun. It's amazing how many things click into place when you've got that mentality.
100%. Yeah.
This is the bit that went on about too long though. The end, the final act, where Cody goes to the tree, he tracks him down, goes to the tree, gets in. I just felt that it all went on too long.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
I wasn't endeared to Bridget. Like you said, I just wasn't feeling her as a, somebody worth rescuing, to be honest.
Exactly. I was almost disappointed that she did survive based on how she acted throughout the movie. Not her acting. The actress was fine, but just like her motives.
The character. No, it's the character.
The character. Yeah.
Separate, in this case, the actress is playing exactly what she's told to do.
Yeah.
I just wasn't feeling it. The spit on the head that she had though, that was
that's pretty
that's
gross.
fair play to her for putting up with that. And that was no messing about there. Like the big gold.
Yeah, and it went like over her eye and stuff.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
that.
Like, lovely.
Yeah.
Drool off his tongue he didn't spit on her, he drooled on her, and just the way even that scene was brilliant. It was so simple.
Yeah.
You could see the bubble.
They wouldn't have done that to Jennifer Aniston, I'll tell you that.
She would have been bad. She too, I'm glad this didn't become her series, to be honest. Because I don't find her impressive as an actress.
it would have been weird if she became like the Sigourney Weaver, where she's the sole survivor every movie. Like,
Yeah.
The focus needs to be on the Leprechaun, and so I kind of like that it's different groups every time, because I'm rooting more to see the Leprechaun than I am to see.
But that's what the movie's trying to do. But once again, it's the executives in the background who are, they're dead from the neck up. The people, not the creatives. The creatives have got thing, but as I've discovered and looked, there's always drama behind the scenes. And the bigger a movie gets or a studio gets involved, you've got these soulless, just boring people who haven't got a sense of humor or a sense of fun between them. But they think they should have creative input.
Right.
Instead of, okay, you're the director, you're the writer, you have the vision, we trust you, here's the money. You know, if you do well, guess what? The sky's the limit. You incentivize them. If you don't, well, you never work again, sort of thing.
Yeah.
If you really cock it up, guess what? You're done.
Yeah. A thought came to me as you were just saying that. I wonder if the fact that this was such a rushed production, if that eliminated a lot of studio interference and made for a more fun product, because they just didn't have the time to do reshoots. Like we talked about in Leprechaun 1, they did reshoots, which to make the movie more of a
horror than
a horror movie. Yeah, which I think worked, but for the most part, studio interference hinders a movie. It doesn't help it. So I wonder the fact that they didn't have time to do reshoots, if that, made it a better product that it would have been.
Probably so, but there's no way there was none, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There's always,
you can see the bits with the, like you said, them not quite knowing what the Leprechaun is. Should you root for him? Should you root against him?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's obvious, like I said, Warwick Davis created this brilliant character, just so much fun. Of course, you're going to root for the Leprechaun, but you don't need everybody else to be a 2D plank.
Right.
And of course, he has to get beaten at the end to come back. So,
will he come back?
He's a pantomime. Well, there's another 4 movies to watch, so you tell me.
But
right, yes.
Is it him, or is it a different Leprechaun in Leprechaun 3? I got one more reference.
Maybe not.
I could use that one more time, and then I'm done.
Yeah, but that whole end scene, them running through the caves and stuff, and just not getting anywhere, and all for the final scene with the coin. That he gives him the coin back, but it's a chocolate coin. That was a good.
I was going to ask you. I was going to say, I was going to ask you if you like that as a final battle.
I just thought the whole thing it should have been a bit truncated.
Agreed.
There's a bit too much of them running about and stuff and taking a while. The fact that O'Day was basically his body's rotted, he's a skeleton, but he's still alive because he's still trapped as the servant.
Yeah.
And basically he was kept there to bear witness to his descendant being, horrible things done to her.
Right.
I think they should have shown that a bit more.
That would have been cool.
Him in the tree and watching, and here, O'Day, have a look for me. Your granddaughter's there for me. That sort of,
Yeah.
That would have been great. And the fact that he was still maybe not a skeleton, but actually O'Day himself, preserved or something.
Yeah.
And he helped him get out. I think it was just a bit of a wasted opportunity.
That's a good point. I would have liked to have seen that. Yeah. And I also kind of wanted to see Cody, beat up. I know he couldn't really be because he had the coin, but maybe once the coin got separated or somehow, I don't know. I feel like he didn't really go through a lot. I always like the final battle to be like how Ozzy got the piss beat out of him.
Yeah, there should be stakes. There should be stakes.
Yeah, because he had the coin, he was invincible. So I didn't really. I guess Bridget, Bridget was vulnerable, so maybe that was what the stakes were. But again, because I wasn't really rooting for her, it didn't.
It's been Cody's story more than Bridget's. Bridget's more of a plot device,
right?
Where it's actually Cody's, relationship with his uncle and everything else, and just the situations and trying to do the right thing, getting shafted. It's more he's the one going through the hero's journey.
Yes.
Bridget, not so much. And once again, it's just writing. Like I said, I think if they had because they used O'Day's voice. Just have O'Day there, the actor,
Yeah.
trapped. The leprechaun has trapped him for 1,000 years, tormenting him,
hmm
so he can see what's happened. That would have, I think, that would have been better. And then
I like that.
maybe him dropping the hint about or helping in some way.
Yeah, I like that. But I will say I do like the twist, even though it was obvious. I thought it was still a good twist where it's the the
Yeah.
chocolate coin. It paid off. Earlier foreshadowing. It was a successful way to resolve the fact that it's still, how do you defeat a leprechaun? You have to be able to get that wrought iron in him apparently.
Yep.
So I thought it was a good scene, and the practical effect of his head getting blown off was very cool.
The explosion, like, that's a pure practical effect, and even the screenshot you took looks good.
Yeah.
It looks brilliant.
Yeah, I could go back to that.
You don't need to spend silly amounts of money on CGI. Like, look at that. That's like, you actually see the full head.
Yeah, you see guts over here.
Guts, like, people will spend hours getting the
See
right
the head over here?
consistency for the guts and everything else. That's what people used to do. If you watch special features and DVDs and Blu-rays, that was the whole mad science department. The special effects teams were almost as famous as the studios and the actors. The special effects of a particular special effects team, like the ones that work with Clive Barker, they worked in Nightbreed, and that, what I mean? They were, I think he was Chris as well. Guy with that team got, they were like a phenomenon on themselves and got known. Tom Savini, for example, his mask and stuff. There's the guys that did American Werewolf in London, like. Those people were renowned in the sort of horror field. I think I need to look more into it. I just, me, I don't look at personalities. I'm more interested in the product.
Right.
But I think it'd be nice to look at, that might be a talk, horrific chat sometime, special effects and horror, the actual teams and how the evolution.
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
Or take a deep dive in, because it was as much a part of the movie as anything else. Yeah.
Or even as a potential interview, someone who, maybe not the head person, because those are hard to get, but someone who was on the team.
But just, there's a whole, like I said, there was different special effects team. They all had their own mixes and ideas and stuff. And they were almost compete with each other just to create the best special effects. Never mind the movie, whatever a movie might be.
But that'd be fun to hear from them, a little, behind the scenes, what goes into, certain effects.
Any special effects artists, like indie movies, etc., always welcome the show anyway. I'll always do that. But I'm just thinking a specific chat about special effects, just as we're sitting here.
Yeah.
That could happen, but not like this channel isn't busy or anything. You know what I mean?
I know. I just give you more work and let you.
Just add more to the plate. Not like a. We don't have a few things on the horizon.
I keep telling you, Dead Rising would be a fun video game to play on the channel.
Yeah, I still have to finish Alien Isolation.
I know.
And Resident Evil. I need to get it working again on the PC, but I still have to finish those.
Yeah.
I don't like starting games and leaving them half done, especially when I've spent a few hours.
Yeah.
Cry of Fear, still have to get back into that. That's another one I started. I was actually really enjoying. Still have to get to the 5th floor.
Yeah.
Don't start me about games. That's a whole other. It's only 24 hours a day, mate.
I know. I have to live vicariously through you because I don't have time to play a lot of video games. So I'll let you do
That's
it.
why it's a once in a blue moon thing, honestly. Found another one, Vampire Hunter D. I found the video game. So there's another one to play sometime.
Okay.
It came out for the PS1. I found them later, so I'm like, there's another one I'm going to have to do at some stage because we're doing the Vampire Hunter D films.
Nice. I never heard of that. Vampire Hunter D?
Yeah, it's an anime. It's cheese balls.
I hope they kill some of those vampires because the stakes have never been higher. Where's Steve when you need him?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, Steve's on holiday, so that's why you're stepping up. Steve's in South Africa at the moment doing safaris and stuff and having fun.
That's no excuse.
No.
I guess it is actually.
He'll be back on the 18th for the evil of Frankenstein.
That'd be cool.
Back to the Hammer
Looking
Horror
forward to
again.
that.
Peter Cushing is back, so back to the old form. But anyway, on that, we're back to Resident Evil next time.
Looking
Resident
forward
Evil
to it.
Apocalypse, the second one.
Yes,
Where
definitely.
I think you'll enjoy
Two
that one.
very diverse movie franchises that we picked, Leprechaun and Resident Evil. So I'm having fun bouncing back because it's completely different theme, but both enjoyable on its own in its own way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And neither one takes itself too serious.
No,
Yeah.
no. It's
Yeah.
you think of the premise, and yeah, Resident Evil is just going to get more ridiculous as it goes along. So much. But there you go. Thanks as always, buddy. Great to have you, and great to. God, this is a 2-hour review. We've been going at it. Really getting into the weeds in this one. Such as a cheesy slasher. I'm sure why not. Really got into the lore.
I always love when our reviews are longer than the movie.
Yeah, that's when you know you're having fun. But yeah, thanks as always, mate. Thanks for everybody that tuned in there and for the chat and all 3 platforms tonight. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's good to see some new people. Come on back.
People, some regulars, but all 3 Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube tonight. So fantastic. More to see him, please. Always great to have you involved and part of the stream. But there you go. Until next time, keep updated the channel, do the type of clicky things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.